The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
I apologize profusely for the late launch this afternoon. Welcome to the Brian Snow Show. Brian Snow here, back in the saddle. Glad to have y'all with us on this Monday. And yes, it is Monday. I am back from vacation, and I would be remiss if I didn't shout out Ryan McCoffey for joining for guest hosting, I beg your pardon, the Brian Snow Show this past week. And also thank you to Chris Dietz, doggone cord. Sorry about that. I'm still having difficulty here in studio. There we go. Shout out also to Chris Dietz for major helping out, as well as Drew Willingham, who did the Friday version of the show. I cannot thank y'all enough for everyone who pinch hit for me this past week while the wife and I were on vacation. Had a fabulous time in Branson, Missouri. We had a blast. We had a ball. But it's time to get back to work. It is time to get back to it. And I covered something on the morning show that was actually meant for this afternoon because I misread my fabulous executive producer, Mr. Cole Johnson. I misread his message. But let's get to it. Let's get around the horn here. And we start with the College World Series, as the Florida Gators scored the most runs in College World Series history to force a winner-take-all Game 3 tonight versus the LSU Tigers when the Gators dropped the Tigers. Ready for this score? 24-4. 24-4. And this is after LSU scored an extra innings victory in Game 1 of the College World Series Championship Series. Whew. 24-4. Ouch. Just plain ouch. We continue around the horn with this. Pete Rose relaxes in his Las Vegas home, and just like every other baseball fan, is mesmerized by what he is witnessing, and that is the Cincinnati Reds. He's watching his lovable baseball team steal our hearts, captivate our souls, and arouse our imagination. He is Pete Rose, baseball's all-time hit king, who should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way, and can't keep his eyes off his former team, the Cincinnati Reds. Rose tells USA Today Sports, quote, "These guys certainly don't remind me of the Big Red Machine, but they certainly are playing like the Big Red Machine. I watch them every single night. It's unbelievable." He continues, 3 weeks ago, they were playing Stinko. I never dreamt this could happen a month ago. Not the way these guys were playing. Now I can finally go out and wear my Reds cap in public again without fans throwing rocks at me, close quote. Let's park there for a while. What about these Cincinnati Reds, man? They have really, really turned it around. And as much of a White Sox and Astros and Cardinal fans that I am, I have to say, the Reds have captivated me. The question is, can they keep it up? Can they keep it up? That's the major question, and I hope they do. It's been too long of a while since we've had good news come from the camp of the Cincinnati Reds. It's been I'll say it again. It's been too long of a while since we had this kind of good news come from the camp of the Cincinnati Reds. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I want to see them do what the Seattle Mariners did last year and get into the playoffs. Now, granted, I don't want to see them wait until the last day for them to get in. But Elly De La Cruz, man, if y'all haven't seen him play, you're missing out. You're totally missing out. And what's fun is seeing what he can do and the spark he provides for the Cincinnati Reds, because he hit for the cycle. He hit the last time a Reds player hit for the cycle. Somebody look this up. McCoffey, if you're still around, I want to say it was 1989 when the last Reds player hit for the cycle. I want to say it was 1989 when that happened. But at the same time, you got to pay attention to this ball club. It's Victor Locke said it best, and I hope to have Victor on here later after the first break. It's been a while since we had good news come out of Ohio. Period. And it was indeed 1989. Eric Davis was the last Reds player that hit for the cycle. The last Reds player to hit for the cycle before Elly De La Cruz did it last week was 1989. 1989! A year before the Reds won it all in 1990 in sweeping the powerful Oakland Athletics. Now, who won the World Series that year, 1989? Oakland. Wow. It's refreshing. It's absolutely refreshing to see the Cincinnati Reds do this. I am sincerely, I mean this from the heart. I sincerely hope they continue to do it and they become the second coming of the big red machine, because they're doing this fundamentally. Oops, there I go cussing again. They're doing this. Dagnabbit, doggone Mike. They're doing this fundamentally. They're doing this fundamentally, and it's fun to watch. It's an absolute joy to watch that they are doing this the way that they are doing it. I want to see them keep it up. I met some folks that toured Kauffman Stadium. I'll talk about that later on. And they were from Cincinnati, and they were jumpy excited. And when you're jumpy excited for your team, it does something to you. 2005 Chicago White Sox. Hello. It does something to you. Ouch. When you're that excited for a team. I got something sticky on my sweatshirt. Dagnabbit. It does something to you when you become that excited for a team, and I cannot be happier for a team that is doing that than the Cincinnati Reds. Take a break. When we come back, the random musings of Vicola. I hope. We'll see what happens. And I want to get into the Fanatics feedback zone, have some fun there. I promised an update at the top of the show, but I was running late, and I apologize for that. Let me get back on track with a break. When we come back, I'll have that announcement and hopefully have Victor Locke with me. Back in a minute. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing next-level pro wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
PK Tire Pros, your one-stop on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon to see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to the Brian Snow Show this afternoon. We are presented in part by BetUs.com. Want to get in on their 30th season of action? Call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUs.com, where the game begins. Okay. I quickly sped through an article which kind of got my attention. And that article, courtesy of ESPN, listed the best supporting cast. I'm trying to speed scroll through that now and get back to the top of this thing. And of course, they have different videos where an NFL team wide receiver, tight end, running back rankings for 2023. And before I get into those rankings, let me welcome one of my best friends in life as well as in broadcasting, the one, the only Victor Locke. Y'all know him as Vikala, and he joins me right now. What's up, partner?
My brother from another mother. How are you, and how was the vacation?
Refreshing. Absolutely. You said something to me that hit home when you said we could all tell you were stressed out.
Yeah.
I couldn't, because I just kept going and going and going.
Right.
But when I left last Monday afternoon and climbed in the car and we started driving, it just seems all the stress that I didn't know was on me melted away while we were driving to Missouri.
It's because when you are in producer mode, when you're in director mode, when you're in owner mode, you run on autopilot. I've told you this multiple times.
Yes.
You run on autopilot. So you push forward and you don't notice anything else.
No.
Until either you get to the finish line or a roadblock hits. I'll give you a perfect example. Cabo week.
Oh, 2007. Oh,
Once
Lord.
Cabo finished and we end up going to Hooters afterwards. When we got home, exactly. When we got home, we both crashed. But that's because there was so much pressure going through that week to be accurate, on point. We really couldn't make mistakes because this was you and I first run. Well, this is your second run with Kaba. This is my second. It was my second run and your first. Exactly. So we had to be on target. So,
oh, good Lord.
I firsthand knows what happens when you get stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like when there was a misstep, when there was a technical difficulty when you're on location, it seems like it hit harder. And I'm like, this man's stressed out. This man's stressed out. And so this is why I was like, you need to take some time and stay at home. I know you got to go to the, go to the doctor, all that stuff. But if you can stay home, please do, because you are in control of your own studio. Your studio is your domicile. It's your castle. You know what works and what doesn't inside your studio.
No, that's what I'm doing.
But
that is what I'm doing.
Yes.
Wife's final day of vacation is today. She goes back to work tomorrow. I'm going to hate it because I enjoyed the entire week that I had with her.
And
when I
saw that picture of you in the press box,
a
part was like, this lucky dog. But the other part of me said, this may be a premonition.
Mm-hmm.
This may be a premonition of the future.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it will be with Kansas City, but you will be in a professional press box somewhere.
Yeah,
I truly believe that. I would like it if you were at Comiskey, personally. That's me.
Do you know how much of a dream come true that would be?
I mean, in the same
seat as Gene Honda that I've loved since '82.
In the same seat as Gene Honda.
In the same box as Gene Honda. And I met Gene Honda.
I know.
He's so cool. Gene is so cool. Okay. I thought I frightened the daylights out of him when I met him in 2005 with my impression of him announcing Frank Thomas 1 and Paul Konerko 2nd.
I do want to point out something, because the last time you and I got a chance to hook up, I made a particular plea for a certain person or a certain town to help. With everything that's gone the past 2 weeks, I rescind that plea. This man's beyond help. He is beyond help. I rescind it, because I am now fully convinced that no matter what the situation is, he's beyond help. He will never admit fault. He'll never admit wrong, to the point where now the Albany Empire is about to take legal action against him.
Well, one, it's about time. And two, what took him so long? I mean, they were a walking death trap the day they allowed Antonio Brown into their offices. Never mind the interview to get the job. Never mind signing him to do the job, which we all know how that turned out.
And it goes back to, I believe it was a Mentality episode. I'm not sure it's the most recent one. But Cole brought up a very valid point about what does the random idiocy that is Antonio Clown, what does this do for people, possibly being apprehensive of working with Black owners or allowing Black owners into the fold? Because people can go back to say, well, look at the Albany Empire.
Yeah. They can easily go back and say that, because the evidence is right there. Which brings this to mind. One, I'm glad I created my own.
Yeah.
Two, over the course of 20 plus years, I got rid of the people who meant me harm.
Exactly. You always got to protect your castle, and you always got to protect yourself from threats, foreign and domestic. That's the biggest thing that we, as both of us, have seen multiple times.
You've been there.
Yeah.
You've been there. You've been there with me. And to piggyback on Cole's point about, I'll say it real, about Black man working in media, part 1, part 2, Black man working in sports.
Yeah.
It's the case of Antonio Brown.
Yeah. But also, we as Black men in the media, we have to really be careful, because I see a lot of people serving too many masters. By that, I mean, you have to serve the race master. You have to serve your corporate interest.
Yep.
You have to serve all these masters.
Yep.
To the point where your message is going to get construed and misplaced and misused.
Been there.
ESPN, everybody. Hello.
Been there with a certain troll that accused me of something I did at Marquette Catholic, which I didn't do.
And we're not going to talk about him because he
No,
is nothing to talk about.
He is nothing to talk about.
He
Let
is
me get
less
to this
than nothing.
article. Let me get to this article here.
Okay.
And it's NFL team wide receiver, tight end, running back rankings for 2023.
Okay.
This gave me a surprise.
Okay.
Because I'm scrolling through. We only got 2 minutes between breaks. Okay. And a shout to those on CSTV that are watching. You know how you see an article on your phone and you speed scroll through it because of time constraints. I'm speed scrolling through this article and I don't see the team that I want to see.
Will that be San Francisco?
I'm seeing the Chiefs. I'm seeing the Eagles. I'm seeing who else? I'm seeing the Chargers at number 5. What the hell are the Chargers doing as the 5th ranked team on this list? We'll go through the whole list here after the break. But I'm speed scrolling through, and the number 1 team
is
that they listed is my beloved 49ers.
Oh.
Biggest reason why? Two big reasons. One,
the animal.
Brock Purdy.
Oh.
And 2, Christian McCaffrey.
Wait. A ranking for tight ends and wide receivers.
Oh, they mentioned George the Animal Kittle. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. But didn't you see a difference when Kyle Shanahan got a hold of Christian McCaffrey?
Well, yeah. Because Shanahan knows how to deal with very talented running backs.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw how misused, almost abused, if you give a meaning,
to say the least,
from C-Mac was from Carolina.
He was run into the ground.
That playbook was not for him.
No, it wasn't.
Nothing. That playbook was meant for Cam. Let's be real.
I'll comment on that in a minute. Ryan McCarthy from the Fanatics Feedback Zone, joining us from New York, said AB sent a tweet to Michael Jordan saying how hard it was to be a black sports owner. The difference is MJ ran the Hornets for 10 years and AB destroyed the empire in 3 months.
Look, not only that, how dare this person, this clown, even think of equating himself or comparing himself to Michael Jordan, even in the owner realm. Yes, Michael Jordan hasn't had much success as an owner for the Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to remember where Michael's standpoint was. He tried to have other people do that for him. Other basketball people do that for him to run the team.
Man, Antonio Clown.
And
shut up.
And here's the thing. I'm pretty sure Michael didn't miss a payment on mandatory dues.
Michael Jordan's a doggone billionaire.
I mean, besides the poor product on the court, I don't think Michael Jordan has ever caused any controversy.
The only controversy was the team he put together on the court, and the fact that he bowed out, and the fact that he bowed out with grace. Sold his ownership stake in the Charlotte Hornets.
Right. So how in God's wonderful green and blue creation does Antonio Clown think he's anywhere near the caliber of owner Mike was?
He said green and blue creation, y'all.
Well, the grass is green, the water is blue.
Hey, I got no complaints. And look, MJ is a multi-billionaire. That's gonna be us. That's gonna be us in a couple of years. I'm saying
absolutely.
I'm saying that loud and proud.
But it's like, how dare you open your face to say anything to the caliber? That's like
open your face.
That's like if Dak Prescott was sitting in a room with the likes of Joe Montana, Steve Young, if he was alive, John Unitas, Drew Brees, and say, "Whew, it's tough being a Hall of Fame quarterback." Excuse me, who are you? That's what that sounds like to me.
Give me this.
Someone,
give me this button. That would be them looking at Dak Prescott, a Harla Farmer, going, "Who the are you to be in this conversation with us?"
exactly.
They would shut up. They would usher him out and tell him,
if Mike is not able to really lead the Hornets, that's unfortunately a sense of not having the right people in place.
yes, that's absolutely.
This was self-inflicted wounds by the clown.
Self-inflicted being the operative words.
To basically say, yeah, I'm not paying these dudes in a mandatory. I've never, ever, ever, ever heard of a team being kicked out of a league within 3 months.
And I don't think it was even the full 90 days. I do not think that it was the full 90. I do not think it was the full 90 days.
I mean, like I said,
stupid fool.
The thing still remains. He's a father of 5, but at this point is like something. I'm not saying it because
snapped.
I'm not gonna say something dealing with a hit because I think he's insane before that. Something is wrong with him. He's immature.
When he left Pittsburgh, it seems like all hell broke loose.
And because I was back from the office, we had someone in our office who was not an Albany Empire fan, but an Antonio Clown fan.
Oh, geez.
And this person decided to say, when I brought this up, because we bring up sports from time to time.
Yep.
Said the following. Quote.
Oh, dear. Wait. All right, let me do this right. Quote.
Yeah, open it. The real big problem for Antonio Brown is no one gives him a fair shake. It is all racial. They just don't want to see a black man succeed as an owner. Close quote.
Get the out of here.
See, I'm lucky we don't have trays.
Hold up. Hold up. I have to do this. Let me do this again. Quote.
The biggest problem with Antonio Brown is no one gives him a fair shake. It is all racial. No one wants to see a black owner succeed.
Close quote.
I'm glad we don't have trays, and I keep myself fairly calm. But after that, I really wanted to smack him over the head with a tray.
My thought is this.
Moan him!
And
trays.
I am sorry, Mr. McCarthy, but yes, that is exactly what I was told. On a Tuesday afternoon, mind you.
And
my first day back in the office.
And now this message from Stupid University.
So I realized that I think, even though it's not advertised,
right,
there has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it, like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
So I come to the conclusion that he graduated from SU, Stupid University. Yeah, all the stupid ass letters that go along with graduating high honors of being stupid. I can't do no more, man.
Vámonos, dominos, vámonos. Stupid University, where everyone graduates magna cum stupid.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I agree with Ryan. Wait. What?
Yeah. And the bad part was I knew that's where it was going to go. Because for some reason, we can't call a black man accountable for some of the stuff he does. Now, I do agree that sometimes we can go a little overboard.
Yes.
I do agree
Totally agree with that. And if you're being objective, that's the case.
Yeah, I do agree that sometimes black people, mainly black men,
if you're being objective,
I'm gonna say it like this. I do agree that in many cases, black men can and usually do deal with a bit more scrutiny than most.
absolutely.
And sometimes can be judged unfairly.
However,
the clown is not this case.
No.
He did all this to himself. The stupid stuff he did in Pittsburgh, the stupid stuff he did in New England, to the stupidity of, again, folks, forging a fake vaccination card for COVID, which got him suspended, which, by the way, was a legal misdemeanor.
Which should have landed his ass in jail.
Which should have landed him in jail.
Which should have landed his ass in jail.
So
take a pause. Go ahead.
So for anyone to sit there and say that Antonio Clown's not getting a fair shake, you have not been watching for the last 5 to 7 years.
And let's oh boy. Pause for a break, and when we come back, more of the random musings of Vic-Allah. And this time we're going to talk a little basketball. Dear God.
Oh boy.
I got some thoughts. Back in a The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
We're not a cooking show. We're a show about cooking. We turn the camera around and point it at you. Our show takes place right inside your kitchen.
Hey y'all, Snowman here. Catch me, Cole Johnson, Wise El Jefe, and the usual cast of characters as we bring it to you every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's called Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson, and it's right here on CSTV and CSTVNow.com. Join us, won't you?
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing Next Level Pro Wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
There's a snowman in the house? Uh-oh. Can anyone hear me? Or something happened? Okay. Okay. Power David 3000. Good to hear from you, my friend. I guess I'm going to be here doing some random musings for a while until Snowman returns. And I want to touch up on a little something that was brought up in the morning show, particularly comes to baseball. And one thing that he brought up was about pitching and how detrimental it is for younger players, particularly younger pitchers, basically being forced to cultivate off-speed pitches, particularly curveballs and sliders, too early, which I agree. The first pitch that I learned when I started was, of course, the fastball, mainly because the fastball was really your pitch to learn control and pitch placement. So what would happen is we would have a couple of different spots where we could throw one in the inside corner, maybe one throw up top outside, top inside. So once you learn control of that pitch, you can cultivate how to really gain control of the off-speed stuff. Because if you just go into the off-speed stuff immediately, you will screw up your arm. And yes, David, I am doing rather well. But one thing I really enjoyed when I was playing was being able to throw a pitch. I think the highest I ever threw was like about 88. Might have tickled on a 90, but even then it took a lot just to get that. And then again, to just get that pitch to the right position, to the right spot, it is not easy. But I would actually like to hear from you guys. What questions do you guys have? Figure the time that you guys can get the random musings from me from things that you guys want to talk about. While we wait for Snowman's return. As far as some of my favorite pitchers, I would say number one is Nolan Ryan. Yes, I am. Let's see. Oh,
Man.
wait.
Me and this doggone thing had a fight.
Did the clown try to hijack the airwaves? Is that what happened?
Somebody tried to. I apologize. Thank you, Victor, for covering for me. I appreciate you. This side here. I know it's 2 in the afternoon, and I'm frustrated with technology. I'm not frustrated with being back on the air. This doggone blankety blank bleep bleep thing, which actually saved my life, saved my broadcast life, decided to have a fight. It happens. I know
it does. This you were going to talk about the NBA, and for some reason, all the Bronx Sexual said no, and they cut you off.
See, every time I mention NBA draft, this thing decides to hijack me. Damn it. Okay, let me try this again. Besides Victor Wembanyama, who was drafted by Greg Popovich and the Spurs,
Okay.
Who the hell are these people?
Your guess is good as mine. I don't know any of the people that were.
Okay. Well, let's go back 20 years. No, let's go back further than that. Let's go back 40 years. When
Okay.
you knew who was coming in the draft, Akeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, Clyde the Glide, when you knew who was coming in the draft, when you knew the players that were being drafted because you watched them in college and you watched them grow.
Yeah. But cultivation is kind of dead.
You know what? This is LeBron James's fault.
Because in the end, folks, it all comes back to Young.
Shut up.
I mean, look, you're not necessarily wrong.
Yes, I am for saying that, for voicing aloud what people like myself and you and others have thought for 20 years.
True. But you're not necessarily wrong, because it seems like it's more cool and more in style to come out of high school and go right to the league, or spend maybe.
What the hell are these people wearing?
That I don't know. I am not a fashion person.
Nor am I.
So
what the hell would happen? Listen, I didn't even watch the draft.
I
was on vacation, and I'm glad I didn't watch the draft. And thank you all in the chat for sticking with me as I fought this piece of technology and won. But besides, okay, I'll ask again. Besides Victor Wembanyama, who in the Vita Blue hell are these people? And it's supposedly so good they belong in the NBA. Let me say this aloud. No, they don't. Matter of fact, we do research on this show.
Yes, we do. To answer Ryan,
you've been with me since 2000. Victor, you've been my engineer for 17 years.
Yes.
You know how technology goes.
Well, yeah.
I mean, hell, our worst technological moment. Worst technological moment, and you know what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Derek comes over in the studio. Victor's already there. We fire up the computer, getting ready to go. Not only did we get the blue screen of death,
yeah,
the sumbitch was upside down.
Yeah, somehow the display was upside down
on the blue screen of death, and it was upside down.
Yeah, it was upside down. All of us kind of stood and looked at the screen for like a good 10 minutes. And we're like, how did the screen get upside down?
Upside down. The message was upside down. I mean, Victor said we stared at the screen for a good 10 minutes. We stared at the screen for a good 10 minutes.
And we were about 5 minutes away from starting the show.
Yeah.
So I said, I have an idea. Let's do a quick system restore to maybe like a day before.
Yep.
Did the system restore, screen was back, and we were able to adjust in the nick of time. But when you see a screen upside down, I don't know what you think in your mind. Mine was like, how did the screen get upside down? What trickery was this?
Y'all, this was January 2005 when this happened. It was snowing. It was cold. And I'm saying every cuss word in the book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Victor and Derek can verify my conversation with myself when I turn the computer on.
Oh, yeah.
My dad, God bless you, I miss you, Pops. My dad can verify every cuss word I said in that paragraph.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't a sentence, it was a paragraph. My dad walked by and looked at the screen and went, "What the hell happened?"
There is, you know what? When we talk about the NBA, also,
Yeah.
there is something that is just going by the wayside. Now, Victor Wembanyama, good luck to you, brother, because you're gonna need it.
Yes.
Because you are stepping in the institution known as San Antonio. Okay, which for the longest time has been a mark of excellence.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
from the days of the Admiral David Robinson to
Let me read
the
the
reign of
list.
Tim Duncan.
Let me read the list, and I want y'all to pay attention to 5 of the first 7 players drafted.
Okay.
We know about Victor Wembanyama. Okay, played at Metropolitans 92.
Right.
Brandon Miller out of Alabama. Scoot Henderson, G League Ignite. Rockets draft overtime elite. Amen Thompson, overtime elite. I beg your pardon. Dominic Williams, aka the Godfather. What's going on, man? Ausar Thompson, overtime elite. Anthony Black out of Arkansas. And I don't know how to pronounce this name. I won't do it. He was traded to the Wizards. Bilal Koulibaly.
Okay.
That's the best I can pronounce it. I butchered it. I hope I hope I get a correct pronunciation. Metropolitans 92, G League Unique, overtime elite, and only 2 came from school.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Yeah.
I ask all of you, what is wrong with this picture?
Because like I said before, cultivation is now dead in the NBA. Cultivating stars through basketball school. We talked about this last time when it came to a certain person with a broken crown.
I love it.
There's no more of this. Let me spend a good 3-4 years in college, get my education going, sharpen up my skills, forging my skills in fire.
Yep.
And there's a thing in, and I know I'm bringing a little bit of blacksmithing into this. There's a thing in blacksmithing called tempering.
Yep.
When you do a heat treat with a weapon, it hardens it, but if you don't temper it, it's brittle. And you can easily break.
Very.
When you temper your weapon, you temper your blade, you make it durable. That's what college is. It's your form of tempering. You build and cultivate yourself starting from when you first start picking up a basketball or baseball or football, whether it be middle school, high school, junior high, whatever. You could even be the summer leagues.
Yeah.
But once you say, this is what I want to do for a living, you then have to temper that skill in college.
There's a series that my wife and I are addicted to called Forged in Fire.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
It will kill. Yes.
It will kill. When you pass that ultimate test, when you get a chance to really cultivate your craft,
exactly,
which is what I've been doing for over half my life. I mean, you sharpen your knife and you build it so it'll be strong and it will kill.
Yes, it's be durable, and it gives other people.
That was the word I'm looking for. I didn't have enough coffee today. That was the word I'm looking for.
and it gives other people a chance to get to know you, and that's what's going to make them care about where you land in the draft. Because remember, you're building your portfolio through college, so people get a chance to see you.
Isn't that what we were talking? Isn't that what we have talked about for the years you and I have been friends?
Exactly. I mean, look at Derrick Rose. Yes, Derrick Rose was well known from being in Simeon.
Yeah.
But I believe he went to Missouri afterwards. And that's where people really was like, this is Derrick Rose. This is the guy we need to get on our team. And he ended up coming to Chicago. that's what you need. You need that polishing. And so it gets annoying when I see, and some people can do it. Not saying people can't do it. Some people can come out of high school, go right to the league. I mean, KG.
Yeah.
KG did it and made a pretty good career for himself.
Moses Malone did.
Moses Malone as well.
Daryl
But not
Dawkins did.
exactly.
Kobe Bean, the late Kobe. I can't believe I'm saying late. Kobe Bean Bryant.
Can you believe how long it's been since that happened?
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
I was getting a new phone when I got the news over on the TV, and I just stood there, just shook because I'm like, "What?"
I thought somebody was messing with me.
I was too.
Me, Jody, and my daughter Sonia. We were all at the Amazon warehouse in Durham, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
When the word started circulating, I mean, one of my friends was a big Kobe Bryant fan. Now, I was a Kobe Bryant fan, but y'all know my guy's Michael Jordan.
Of course.
Okay? The closest thing to Michael Jordan was Kobe Bryant. Sorry,
exactly.
Bronzexuals. The closest thing to Michael Jordan was Kobe Bean Bryant, and Bryant even forged his own identity.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me get off my soapbox now. When we got the news, yeah, you know which way I wanted to go, but soapbox now. Man, when we got the news that Kobe was killed in a helicopter accident.
And his daughter, too.
And his daughter, Gianna. I wanted to slap the person who told me that. And he was a good friend.
Right. Because you thought he was lying to you.
I wanted to slap the taste out of his mouth. Like, don't say that aloud. And he said, I'm not kidding. You have to be. You have to be kidding. He wasn't.
Sadly, he was not kidding.
He wasn't.
And like I said, there are people who can do it, but it should be exception to the rule and not the rule. I go back to like what happened with the Michael Vick phenomenon. Michael Vick was a tremendous athlete, but unfortunately, he inadvertently brought in the era of the mobile quarterback, or should I say, the running back
disguised as a
the running back disguised as
quarterback.
Exactly, glorified running back.
Yep.
Because now you have individuals having to learn how to break for big gains on the ground rather than sitting in the pocket, going through progressions and throwing it through the air. That's what got individuals like a Drew Brees, like a Peyton Manning, like a Tom Brady, like a Joe Montana, like a Steve Young, or Trey Aikman. That's what made those guys money, and that's what made those guys champions, is sitting in that pocket and throwing it through progressions rather than trying to scramble for 9, 10, 11 yards. I mean, yeah, if you can get it, that's fine, but that shouldn't be your go-to.
Yeah. All right, a break for 3 minutes, and then the NBA draft potential of 2024, and I still don't know who the hell some of these people are. Back at the top of the hour.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, They need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk back here. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just...
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Time for hour 2 of the Brian Snow Show. Welcome back. Brian Snow here with you. Victor Locke will join me in just a second. Hour 2 presented by Invader Coffee. There's a few peripherals I know I need to put together. I'll do that tonight before I go back on air with my play-by-play call. That's at 7:10 tonight. Brewers and Mets.
Okay, I was going to ask what game were you calling?
Yeah, Brewers and Mets from Citi Field in New York.
Pretty sure Dee's gonna love that.
Oh, geez. Let's go to the Fanatics feedback zone. Everybody was saying Frozen, and Victor covered for me. Ryan had a good. Ryan had a great question for the both of you. What was your best and worst arena experiences, whether as a fan or credentialed media member? Before we answer that question, let's do a full reset and get into hour 2 right now. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up. Bang! Quality over quantity. LeBron has beaten some of the best competition in NBA history. He's the GOAT emoji. I will not cuss. I will not cuss. I will not swear. I will not swear.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
I think I'm going to be pretty much done with coffee for the rest of the week as much as I drank today. Welcome back. This is hour 2, and let's put up Ryan's question again.
Okay,
that was a good one. I'm gonna let Victor go first.
All right. Well,
what was your best and worst arena experiences, whether as a fan or a credentialed media member? I have too many to share, so I'm going to let Victor go first.
As far as best experiences in an arena, I gotta give it up for when I was in the old Chicago Stadium, 1991. My dad got some tickets from his boss when he was at, I believe it was DDB Needham. And we got a chance to see the Bulls versus 76ers. And my God, the place absolutely erupted. You know how when we say that even though you hear a reaction through TV, It does not do it justice. It's nowhere comparable to how it is live. That's how I felt.
Yep.
Because 91, the lights go down, you hear that hum, and the music starts ramping up. And once you heard, and now the starting lineup for the Chicago Bulls, because they had not won a championship yet.
Right. But
they're on the cusp. And once they said from North Carolina, I mean, my God, 6-year-old me was jumping up and down like a doggone madman. And I had two guys to my left. Every time they scored, they're like, yeah. And I started high-fiving everybody. I was like, I just made my two best friends here. That's like, in my opinion, it's up there as the greatest moment in terms of being in an arena. As far as words, I don't really have a whole lot of words except for this one part. And Snowman remembers this one real well.
I think I know where you're going.
And I wasn't even in the arena. So I had to call the Public League, I believe it was the semifinals.
Yeah.
For our company. And Brian gave me, this is the first time I was going solo too, which really scared me. So
I don't think Victor ever forgave me for that last minute assignment.
So I grabbed all the gear. I headed down towards the Paul.
And we did a checklist.
Yep. And we did a checklist. Brian gave me all the credentials. He gave me everything I needed. And I'm just sitting out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was about 15 minutes early. So I'm like, okay, they're probably going to let people in and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and it's blistering cold. This was like around January. This was blistering cold.
Oh, dear God, yes.
And they're like, who are you again? And I told my name. I told them I represent Brian Snow. I said America, all this stuff. They're like, who is that? So I showed them the credentials. My IHSA pass, the ISNet pass, everything. They said, okay, well, stay here. We'll
I made sure you had that pass.
Yep.
I made sure you had that pass before I left town.
And so I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm letting Brian know, call him, hey, this is what's going on. He's like, no, they should have all the stuff. You should be fine. Mm-hmm. So I'm just waiting and waiting.
I made the connection 2 weeks before I left.
Exactly.
I made the call and the connection 2 weeks before I left. And I told Victor, look, I told Victor, do not call me unless it is very necessary and an emergency. I put the word "and" in there for a reason.
Right. So finally they came back and said, we have no idea who you are. We have no idea what this group is. Now, if you want to buy a ticket, you can buy a ticket, but we don't know who ISNet is or what that pass he represents.
And that's when Victor called me.
When I called Snowman, it was a pause. And then he says, Victor, I'm making an executive decision. Go home.
Yep.
I will deal with them when I get back.
Yep. I was in Indianapolis for that weekend. And Victor called me 3 separate times.
Yes.
That Saturday. It was a Saturday. Victor called me 3 separate times that Saturday. And I drove to Indianapolis, folks.
Mm-hmm.
I did not ride a bus. I drove to Indianapolis. When Victor called me, the first time Victor called me, he was nervous as hell. And the young lady I was with, she said, just calm him down. I understand you have your own company and everything's going on. And this is 2004. This is 2004. And I said, Victor, just calm down. Everything's going to be fine. Went through the checklist. Everything checked out. When Victor called me a second time, I knew something was up. And I said, what the hell are you? I said, Victor, I don't mean to cuss at you, but what the hell are you talking about? They said they don't know who you are. Give me this button. And I said, that's bullshit. You were with me when I made the call to get the credentials.
And we were there last year.
Yes. The last 2 years. 02 and 03.
Mm-hmm.
And they assured us then that whenever we wanted to cover the city playoffs, we were good.
Right.
No, we weren't. And when Victor called me a third time, and they specifically said they don't know you or your company, that's what I repeat what Victor said. Victor, I'm going to make an executive decision. Go home. And Victor's like, what? I'm like, go home. I will handle this on Monday.
And he sure did.
I went down there and let him have it in their central office. And the first thing I told these people, I said, y'all need to be glad that there are people that want to cover this tournament.
Yes.
And we've done it the last 4 years.
Because there wasn't a lot of local media outlet. It's a lot like what's happening with Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm. And I said, y'all are lucky that someone is covering this tournament. And when they tried to tell me we don't know who you are, I yelled at them.
Uh-oh.
I said, don't you ever tell that lie again. Then the person in charge who kicked Victor out of the arena, because it was at DePaul.
Yes.
It was at DePaul. The person that kicked Victor out of the arena was laughing. He wasn't laughing when I let him have it. I said, if you want us back in 2005, there are 2 things you need to do. And he's sitting down slowly and he says, what's that? 1, you need to acknowledge me and my team. And 2, you need to pay us.
Yep.
For if you don't pay us, you get no coverage. Well, you can't make that demand of us. Give me this button. Bullshit. I can't. Who else has been there? And this is before the mess at the United Center. Dear God.
Oh my God.
This is before the mess at the United Center. I'll say it again. This was before the mess at the United Center. Okay? Because what happened at the what my best as a fan was June 5th, 1991. Game 2, NBA World Championship. I don't need to explain that.
Right.
No, this was at the UIC Pavilion, where they were having the girls and the boys championship at the same day.
Oh yeah.
They were having the city playoffs in Chicago. They were having the girls championship and the boys championship in the same day. I called Victor and I said, get your blank to the UIC Pavilion because I need you. Why was Alvin Washington there?
Vinman.
Do you see the look on my face?
Oh, I see it. I see it.
Why the hell was he there?
I don't know.
In my role as coordinator, because I was coordinating the broadcast team.
Right.
That's what I was told to do.
That's what you were. Weren't you paid for that game?
Yes, I was.
So that was you were paid to do. And to
I
Ryan
was paid for both of those games.
And to Ryan McCarthy, if I could have just said I'm Vickla and that got me in, then I would have Cole Johnson to thank for that, because only he made me that type of star, if that's the case.
Yes. Yes. I got paid for both of those games.
Right.
Okay? I got paid for both of those games. I was directed by the person in charge of the CPL to coordinate the radio broadcast teams. Why was Alvin Washington there?
Boy, you got me.
And I hate to talk about the brother because he's a brilliant broadcaster. Don't get it twisted. But when my team showed up, I had 2 rules.
1.
Be on time.
And 2.
Be presentable.
Dress for the occasion.
Which means for us, shirts, ties, dress pants, the whole 9 yards.
Correct.
What I saw from this gentleman and y'all wonder why I'm having a third cup of coffee at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
You may want to cut yourself off from there because Lord have mercy, you will be wiry.
Oh, I'm drinking a ton of water to flush this ish out of my system. Fast. Because listen, I've had occasions, and I will freely admit this. I've had occasions where things didn't fit me. I will freely admit that aloud.
Same here.
Okay? I freely admit that.
But
speak ye the truth and shame the devil. When your pants don't fit, and you're seeing something that you shouldn't have, that you shouldn't see.
Oh dear.
I won't go any further.
Yeah, don't.
Because my brain will hurt.
Your brain will hurt, my stomach will hurt. Let's just say that he didn't fix himself.
He did. Bless his heart, he did. But I went home and threw up. Because that's a reminder of where I will never, ever, 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 ever go through that again.
Agreed.
Ever.
And yes, Sick Dig, we are going through a bumpy pothole red stroll down memory lane, but we will be cleaning it up. We are cleaning it up.
Now, I will say to Alvin Washington, my good friend, thank God he did clean himself up.
Yes.
I had to do the same. I freely admit that. My best as a broadcaster? Wait a minute. I have two. I had the worst and best in the same game.
Oof.
Brother Rice St. Rita, 2002, I beg your pardon. Football. It was raining. It was hot. It was humid. There was a 20-mile-an-hour wind, and I was on the doggone roof.
Oh.
Umbrella goes flying up 79th Street. And it was the best football game I ever called because it went 6 overtimes.
6
overtimes, y'all. It went six overtimes, and I loved every minute of it. I never had another game like that. I would love to have one. I had a game at Gately Stadium before they blew it up and refined it. And you know Gately Stadium. You remember the old configuration of Gately Stadium?
Yes. Yes, I do.
When there was no heat in that joint.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
There was no heat in the press box. Victor's been with me where I sat with my hands in my pockets the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't push a doggone button.
There was a point in time where you raced from the press box to my car because I picked you up for a couple games, and I had the heat on blast because I knew you had been out there in the cold.
I was cold. Dear God, I was cold. Dear Lord, I was cold. Man, oh man.
But yeah, that was crazy.
Of course, there's all the City Suburban Showdowns we did.
Oh my God. Those
There
were
are all
amazing.
the games we covered at U.S. Cellular Field.
I would love to hear
Ryan, I will ask you that question next Monday.
I would love to hear that. You guys were talking about something. I wanted to bring this up. You guys were talking about pitching in Little League.
Yes.
And I didn't know how big of a problem this was because for me, I learned the way you guys talking about was basically throwing gas.
That's it.
And one of the great things about that is that you learn how to control your fastball because you're just throwing straight. And it gets you.
Not only do you learn how to control it, you learn how to locate the darn thing.
Exactly.
Aroldis Chapman, anyone?
And I didn't really learn the curve till I was about 15. Because I spent most of the time.
You taught the curve until you're 16.
Well, I was on the cusp of 15 and 16.
Yeah, you were on the cusp. So you could go ahead and get it. But we saw folks at 10 and 11.
And that's the thing that scared me. Because we had what people call the hunchback pack.
Yep.
Which is basically this big bag of ice. And it would be strapped to the kids, to the kid's shoulder.
Yes.
And their back so that they can ice their arm up.
Yep.
And so you got these kids walking around with this big hunchback of an ice pack on them. And it's like, why is that happening? It's like, because they're throwing.
Then we figured out why.
And it's like 10, 11. No, you will destroy an arm that way.
Yeah. Then we figured out why.
You will destroy an arm that way. So it's maddening to me that that's happening so young.
It's scary.
And yes, Sick, yes. When I was in high school, I was a pitcher.
I mean, scary.
It is. It is. When you're throwing the fastball, all you worry about is getting into the strike zone, get into the catcher's glove.
Yep. And that's all you should worry about.
Exactly. Once you get that down, then you can actually start, playing with off-speed pitches. Start with the changeup.
Yep.
Start with the changeup.
And that's the first one. That's the first off-speed pitch you should learn is your changeup.
Exactly.
You shouldn't be learning a curveball or a knuckleball or anything. You know how much torque it puts on your arm?
I mean, you're throwing it differently.
You know how much torque that puts on your arm?
Yeah, because you're throwing it differently
at such a young age.
You're throwing it differently. You're not throwing it the same way you would throw a fastball. Each pitch has its own way of delivery.
Right.
Whether it's a forkball, a slider, a split finger, you have to know how to release that pitch.
You do. You absolutely do.
And
you can't learn that pitch that early. You can't.
No. And as you were saying, Sick, how many of those kids are undergoing shoulder surgery? I shudder to guess. I shudder to guess because
I know I shudder to guess.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I had a 10-year-old on field 1 who was already throwing, and I think he was 9.
Mm-hmm.
He was throwing sliders. And I
saw a kid at 9 throwing submarine. I mean, he was doing a la Dan Quisenberry.
Right. I'm like, why is he throwing sliders?
Scariest thing in the world.
Because all it takes for one release to go bad.
Yep.
One release to go bad, you could tear something, you could break something.
And your football career is done.
And your baseball career is done. Football and baseball.
Football and baseball. Speaking of football, we'll take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk breakout players.
Ooh.
Or predicted breakout players.
Okay.
Because USA Today put out a list.
Oh, I love lists.
And we're going to destroy it when y'all get back.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Thursday nights are wrestling night on CSTV. Tune in every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific to see all the amazing Next Level Pro Wrestling stars on Thursday Night Throwdown on CSTVNow.com and the CSTV app on your Roku device.
PK Tire Pros, your one-stop on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon to see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is the Brian Snow Show.
Down the stretch we come. We got a little football and a little more basketball to bring to you as Victor Locke joins me here during hour 2 of the Brian Snow Show. And one of the things that Cole sent to me, possible breakout players for the 2023 season. And I went right to your Carolina Panthers, sir. And I found Terrence Marshall Jr. Now, I'm going to talk to Jay Spivey tomorrow afternoon. But I have a question for you, Victor, if you're ready. Who the hell is Terrence Marshall Jr.? I may have lost him.
Hold on. Okay. Take off the mute button. Hello?
Oh, there you are.
Okay. Yeah.
Who the hell is Terrence Marshall Jr.?
Again, you're asking me as if I know. This is probably the first time I've heard this name.
It says he hasn't found consistent footing since he's been in the NFL. Duh.
And he's going to Carolina to find it?
May I pose again, please?
Sure.
Who the hell is he?
Again, I don't know.
Who in the Vita blue, yellow-bellied, red-blooded hell is this person?
I have no clue.
I got no clue either.
He has not found consistent footing, but yet you think he's going to find it in Carolina?
Because of Bryce Young. They actually, dear God in heaven. I borrow the words of Rod Bramlett. Oh, my Lord in heaven.
Okay, Bryce Young, here's the thing. Bryce Young has potential, but he's unproven.
Yep.
Yep.
So
before we start crowning people,
I love you for that. You climbed in my head again. I love you for that.
Before we start crowning people, let's actually get some
now
time
that song is in my head. Damn you. And you know the exact song too.
Yeah.
You put that song in my head. Okay. For the Chicago Bears, they selected Justin Fields.
Okay.
What?
Here's the thing with Justin Fields. Yes, this could be, in my opinion, this is a make him or break him season.
Yep.
Because they got a little bit more offensive line help, which should take pressure off him.
Mm-hmm.
So that works. Not a lot of help, but it does give him some protection, some form of confidence. And if that offensive line gels together and gives Justin Field time, I could see some promise coming from him, particularly now that you have to rely most of your season's progress on one DJ Moore.
Let me go. Let's rewind. DJ Moore. The Bears are going to count on DJ Moore. What's up, Hog TV? To be their number one receiver. And I have a very important question for you, my beloved Bears insider.
Okay.
Why?
You have just asked the question that the majority of the Bears fans have been asking. Because we are all asking the exact same question. Again.
Why in the blue hell are they going to...
Okay.
No, not why. Not why. I changed my question. I retract my question. And I ask a different one. Not why. How?
Well, like I said
How
before,
in the red hell are they going to count on DJ Moore?
Well, like I said, I don't know why they chose this. And what irked me was people were like, oh man, the Bears just finessed the Panthers. The Bears just finessed the Panthers. Like, how?
Tell me how the hell they finessed the Panthers.
Neither side has gotten really that substantially better. Because even
the Panthers got everything they need to select Bryce Young. Okay, that was the worst kept secret. After the season ended,
it was going
when we knew who won the Tank Bowl, which was the Bears. Thank you, urinating tree, for that term.
Right.
We knew the Bears weren't going to keep that number one pick. We knew that from day one.
Yeah, because they already put all the chips on Justin Fields.
They put everything into Justin Fields.
They put all the chips on Justin Fields. So they're like, we're gonna go. We already have our quarterback. We just need stuff around him.
But
so what happens now is they say
for DJ Moore.
And my thought was like, is there no one else that they could have gotten that for? Like I said,
okay.
Can I have the question that everyone else asked?
Let me have this button. Give me this button.
Okay.
What the are they thinking?
I have no idea. And I don't think they do either. I think, like I said, they're trying.
You've been my Bear. How long have you been my Bears insider? 15 years?
Yeah, about 15.
15 years. Victor's been my Bears insider for 15 years. Now he's going to have a chance to really put it all together on the program because I plan to have him on every week. But
why? I don't know. Again,
and I'm spending a lot of time on this because I still can't believe they DJ Moore.
I mean, I guess they see
what?
I guess they see like, well, if Christian McCaffrey come out of Carolina, go to another team and do better, I guess we can do the same thing with DJ Moore. I guess that's the only way they can think about it because I can't see any other reason why they would do this.
Let me just answer a comment from Hawk TV. With that Bears Panthers trade. I hate to inform you of this.
Okay.
But no one fleeced anyone in that trade.
No.
No one fleeced neither the Bears nor the Panthers fleeced anyone.
I think
they didn't fleece anybody.
I think
again, you just heard Victor say they put all of their chips into Bryce Young, and the Bears put all their chips into Justin Fields.
Well, here's the thing. They did fleece somebody. They
fleeced themselves.
Well, no, they fleeced sports media because basically sports media spends a couple of days talking about two mediocre to bad teams.
True.
The attention was on 2 bad teams.
Especially the night of, and you and I covered the draft that night.
Yeah.
DJ Moore with Bryce Young could have been magic. No, sir. No, sir.
Here's the thing.
No.
Yes, DJ Moore is an athlete, but as far as wide receiver, you gotta be more than just that.
DJ Moore is not a wide receiver.
No.
Because his catch radius is, I mean, except for one pass from PJ Walker against Atlanta, in which Carolina messed up and let the game get away from him because of a stupid penalty.
Right.
I see no catch radius with DJ Moore. Y'all want to talk about sabermetrics? There's one for you. I don't like talking about advanced stats. Y'all know that. I hate advanced stats. I hate sabermetrics.
Most of us do.
But now from a somewhat potential breakout player to a real breakout player, and his name is Brandon Ayuk from the 49ers.
Yeah.
There's a case to be made, and I'm reading from USA Today. There's a case to be made that Ayuk broke out last year when he had 78 catches, 1,015 yards, and 8 touchdowns, all career high. You know what's scary? He's going to get better in that offense.
That's a tough act to follow, but I think he'll be following it.
You know who Brandon Ayuk reminds me? I hate to make this a 49er comparison, but follow me here. You know who Brandon Ayuk reminds me of?
Who?
John Taylor. Speed, catch radius, versatility. And by the way, before anybody opens their mouth, John Taylor had a couple 1,000-yard seasons. Oops.
Being able to actually go for the ball too. That's one of the biggest things that most people don't realize about wide receivers.
Being able to catch the ball.
Well, not just that, but most of the time.
Let me just say it real, because the Bears haven't had wide receivers since Muhsin Muhammad.
Bernard Berrian.
Thank you. That's the name I'm looking for. Bernard Berrian.
Who went to the Vikings afterwards.
And blitzed the Bears with a 99-yard touchdown.
I'll even give you
by Gus Frerotte.
I'll even give you Brandon Marshall, because Brandon Marshall was an absolute beast. I think he was an animal. He actually extended Jay Cutler's stay in Chicago because they were going to get rid of him. But once Brandon Marshall came in, and put a couple of really good seasons together, it gave people that inkling that maybe Jay could be the guy in Chicago. But I mean, but the thing is also being able to go up and get it, being able to contort your body, because you will have to contort your body to catch the ball. You may have to go back. You may have to make a cut that you weren't intended to make, but
now,
there you go.
Victor's going to punch me for this. But you know what destroyed Bernard Berrian's career in Chicago?
What's that?
Rex Grossman.
Why would I punch you for that? That's a fact. Here's the thing with Rex. There's a reason why we either called him T-Rex or INT Rex. Because there really was no middle ground with him.
None.
You either were going to get a great 300 or 400-yard game with 4 or 5 touchdowns and a pass rating over 100.
Or you're going to get a passer rating of 0.
Yeah, or you're going to pass a rating of 4, and he's probably going to throw about 7 interceptions.
Like the game he had against the Green Bay Packers to close the 2006 season.
Absolutely. Rex Grossman was maddeningly inconsistent. I think just about as inconsistent as the Warriors were this past year.
Ain't that the truth?
But that's how bad Rex was. And like I said, someone like you had basically the trident. You had Muhsin Muhammad on one side, you had Bernard Berrian on the other, and all you had was Rex Grossman saying, "You know what? I'm gonna throw it to you. I'm gonna touchdown to you. Throw a touchdown to you. Throw a touchdown." But he was always inconsistent, and you couldn't even blame the O-line that year, because the O-line for the Bears back in those days was stout. I mean, you had the general in the very front, Olin Kreutz.
The Hawaiian heartthrob, Olin Kreutz. Let's take one more break, and when we come back, we'll close the show with some comments that Mike Golick said that I touched on this morning, and we're going to go even further. And people are going to get mad at me for this. The thing is, until you can erase 3 Februaries, shut up.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
I had to push the other button. Oops.
Trisha's having a sleepover tonight. Can I go?
I wonder about Lucy's friends. What should I say? I know you're only 10, but one of these days a friend will offer you a drink. And alcohol at your age can lead to so many things. None of them good.
So can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me
I
something.
finished my homework.
Bigger promise. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
Mom.
I promise you. Your real friends won't care. Deal?
Sure.
Really?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Yo, camping buddy. Boom. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive. If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Hey everybody, Brian Snow here. Want to do some afternoon sports talk with me and be interactive? Also meet some great guests from every walk of life? Then tune in to The Brian Snow Show on CSTV and CSTVnow.com. Weekdays at 2 p.m. Come on aboard and enjoy the ride.
PK Tire Pros, your one-stop on-the-spot auto service headquarters for a complete line of quality tires and auto services. For years, we have provided the Stockton, California area with the latest products and unprecedented services for everything we sell. And for years, our customers have been coming back. Take a look around. If you don't find what you need, visit us in Stockton, California. From the latest and best in tire technology to the services required to keep your vehicle looking good and running great, PK Tire Pros can get you out on the road quickly and at an affordable price. Stop by soon to see why so many people consider PK Tire Pros to be the one-stop shop for all of their tire needs. At PK Tire Pros, our friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service professionals, and affordable prices all come together to make driving out on a new set of tires easy. On top of that, we never tire of tires. Stop by and see us, and you'll be glad you did.
Where sports is the base, life and fun are the results. This is The Brian Snow Show.
I know something I haven't done in a while, and Michael Doherty is going to love me for this, and I'm going to make sure I send this to him. I haven't done a bet slip in a while because I've been so confused on how to handle it, but I'm going to handle it right now. And the game I'm going to select is the Indiana Fever and the Las Vegas Aces WNBA game, one of two games that I have in mind. The Aces are favored by 15 points. Go ahead and lay them. 1,400 minus 1,400 the money line. Go ahead and lay that. Over under is 171.5. I'm going to say go under with that. That's a quick edition of Brian's Bet Slips. It's presented by BetUs.com, where the game begins. Use the code Snowman and get a 125% match on your initial deposit. Okay. We touched on it briefly this morning.
Okay.
And Mike Golick said something that I can't find a lie for.
Okay.
And that is when he said, quote, damn shame and very sad of what has become of ESPN radio, close quote. And
well,
ESPN radio has been struggling to find a successor for Mike and Mike in the Morning since the program ended November 7th, 2017. Almost 6 years.
Well, you cannot.
What do you think about that?
Well, you can't really find a replacement for something that was so doggone perfect.
And legendary.
And honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I have not listened to AM 1000 ESPN radio since 2008. When I still had my car. And even actually, I would say 2007 because I had turned from AM 1000 to 670 in 2007.
Yeah, because I remember you shifted local.
Yeah.
Just when I was getting back into the game.
Well, for one, it's like Mike and Mike was was great. So I would still listen to that. But then once the 11 o'clock hour would go, I would actually start listening to Hampton Holmes. Dan Hampton and Lawrence Holmes, chopping it up. And then, of course, came Boers and Bernstein. And
Boers and Bernstein.
I may not have liked Dan Bernstein, but you know what?
Who did?
He and Terry Boers were just so much fun.
And he told the truth.
Yeah. He told the truth.
They told the absolute truth, And
you were talking about tandems when it comes to broadcasting. In my personal opinion, the best since the days of Jim Durham, I got to go with Funkman and Stacey.
Neil Funk and Stacey King.
Neil Funk and Stacey King. You can tell there is something about tandems. You can go back to the days of Pat Summerall and John Madden, whereas you could just tell these guys not only enjoy the game but enjoy each other's company.
You want a pair that I enjoyed?
Sure.
I'm a baseball rat. John Rooney and Ed Farmer.
The
late great Ed Farmer.
Farmio.
Yep. And Farmio was a local kid.
Yeah.
Farmio, born and raised on the south side of Chicago, attended St. Rita.
And so, but you just don't have that anymore. You don't have that type of chemistry, that vibe. You don't have that.
You know what's scary? The mainstream media is afraid to put people like that together.
Well, it's become cookie cutter now. Broadcast, I'm going to be honest, broadcasting day has become very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
You take one person who's a little underacting, and one person who's overacting over the top, and they, mash them together and say work. And it doesn't because they don't know how to play off each other.
No, it doesn't.
They don't know how to play off each other.
They don't have sample broadcasts anymore where you get to know your partner.
Yeah. It's like, here, you're in the middle of a big game, go at it. And it's like, I don't know this person. I don't know what they like, what they don't like.
What the hell are they doing for me?
And so it becomes almost like
what the hell are they doing for me?
It becomes like they're forced to be around each other, and they start to resent each other.
One of my favorite partners I ever worked with was Ty Collins, who is the baseball voice of Wake Forest. He and I did a UNCG game together, and it clicked. It just clicked.
I'm gonna say it like this: when I first started working side by side shotgun with you, made it really easy for me to slide in.
Yeah.
It'd be easy for me to say, okay, here's where I can put my 2 cents in. Here's what I can color and put color to the picture you're painting.
Right.
It's like I said, there's a person who draws the picture and another person who paints the picture.
Mm-hmm.
You draw the picture. I just paint it.
Yeah.
I put the color where it needs to go. Same thing with myself and Derek. You don't have that anymore. And because ESPN is the major conglomerate, they don't feel they need to. It's very much similar to the WWE back in the day.
Yeah.
When they didn't have any real competition, they were like, what's the point in me trying? I don't have anyone that's going to stop me.
Absolutely.
Once Impact started getting a little bit bigger, and then AEW.
Scary stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
It's very scary to get complacent so quickly.
And people do get complacent very quickly.
Just
They get complacent very, very quickly.
Just like the sports media scene, sports journalism scene.
And now ESPN is going to cancel their morning show that they have now, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, which prompts 2 questions. Number 1, who actually listened to that show? And 2, who thought it was a good idea to throw them together?
Well, they said, who has some experience of what they're talking about? Oh, Keyshawn Johnson, he played the game before. Okay. Let's get some other nobodies and put them together.
And Jay Williams, good God.
And I'm not saying they're nobodies in the literal sense.
No.
But playing sports and then doing sports journalism, they're 2 different things.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go from one to the other and say, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Shannon Sharp, perfect example.
Oh, dear Lord.
I mean, he knows the game, obviously.
Yeah, he does. He does.
But
no question about it.
But he had an uphill battle in terms of sports journalism because it's a different monster.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more research involved, not just in your field, but in multiple fields.
Yeah. And that's the scary part. I don't think in 7 years of working with Skip Bayless, I don't think he realized it.
I mean, I think he realizes it now. I think he actually realized a couple of years because now he's able to step away.
You know who else went through it? Stephen A.
Stephen A. The difference, though, is Stephen A. has been doing sports journalism for years. He wasn't really known for as a player. He was always known as a journalist. So he wasn't really known from the realm of a player, but more from a journalist standpoint. So he actually was able to cultivate himself as a journalist perspective. And that's what allowed him to hang with Skip Bayless a lot of the time. It's what we were talking about before, about how Skip revered.
But see, why is the cookie cutter now debate shows instead of regular sports talk shows like you and I do, like Cole and I do every morning?
Because it's it's more drama. I mean, we don't really argue.
I don't like drama, man. I just like telling the truth about what's going on in sports and leaving it at that.
Snowman, that's you. That's you. That's me. That's the feedback zone. That's Cole Johnson. That's Wise.
Yes.
That's the sensible people.
Could you say that word again, please?
That's the sensible, logical people. The people who are who take in. They want the drama. They want the people yelling and screaming at each other and walking off the stage saying, I'm going to beat you up and meet me in the parking lot. That. We don't want that.
No, thank you.
We don't need that. We just want to hear how knowledgeable are you about the sport you're covering.
Yeah. And you don't see that, and you don't see or hear that anymore. I mean, once again, I go back to the question I posed a few moments ago. Who actually listened to Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max? They were getting killed in the ratings, number 1. And number 2, their chemistry was horrible.
The chemistry was horrible because they didn't know each other.
Exactly. They just threw them together for a 4-hour morning show, and nobody paid attention to that mess.
I'll put it like this.
Let me put it in your terms. No one paid attention to that mess.
That mess.
Well, here's the thing. Thank you.
Here's the thing. When Skip was on First Take with Stephen A., the way they spoke to each other, you could tell that they actually hung out outside of that show.
Exactly.
They may not have been best of best friends,
but they were friends.
But they hung out.
Mm-hmm.
They literally were like hanging out at least a couple of weekends out of the month.
Right.
and they talked over the phone or whatever case may be. They actually talked with one another, and there was a respect there.
Yes.
That Skip had for Stephen
That's key. There was a respect there.
That he just simply did not have with Shannon. And maybe it could be that he viewed Shannon as more of like the Neanderthal type because he was an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you ever watch Skip, you could tell Skip has kind of an elitist attitude towards athletes.
Yeah, he does.
We've seen it with Chad Johnson. We've seen it with Terrell Owens. We've seen it with AI.
All of them.
Sherman.
Yep. Richard Sherman.
And
Richard Sherman. And what Skip didn't realize, Richard Sherman played at Stanford.
Yeah. And so
we all know the reputation. And Stanford's reputation is the West Coast version of Northwestern.
Yes.
Your brain gets you into school. Period.
Yes. And so you saw Skip kind of always kind of look down upon the athletes because he felt that he was somehow intellectually smarter than him. And maybe that's how he felt with Shannon. Problem is, Shannon is intelligent. He may be a bronzosexual, but he's an intelligent person too.
Very much so. Very much so. Here's another question. And I really, really am gonna. Well, I'll say part of this for tomorrow, but I'll let you close this out. Why is it so hard for Black people that are in sports media to understand that if you tell the truth about sports, you don't put your integrity at risk?
Well, here's the biggest problem when it comes, because remember how I was saying before about serving too many masters?
Yes.
You have that same problem here, particularly when it comes to either Black sportscasters or Black sports fans. You were talking about with baseball.
Did I say that aloud?
Yes. Talking with baseball. How Black people they don't really get behind baseball. I mean, did we forget that there was a all Black baseball league that fought tooth and nail just to get into the league? This is what I was saying on Cole Sports was what irks me about people like Kyrita Pinkett-Smith and even Kevin Durant, Will Smith, and Joel Embiid and James Harden, and of course Yo Kang, is how much they're like, we don't like the fans not cheering us. We don't like fans booing us. I'm like, do you realize that back in the day, the Negro League, those guys had to be called the N-word gratuitously over and over and over, having rocks thrown them, having crap thrown at them, literal crap, having cups with rocks in it thrown at them.
Yep.
Over and over again.
All the time.
And they didn't let it bother them. They just made them play harder to where they were recognized. And so you see that, but right now it's almost like we're going in the inverse where we have Black people like, well, that's a white sport. We can't talk about that. We can't talk about hockey. That's a white sport. There are Black players in hockey.
Says who?
And why are we?
The first goalie that I loved was a Black goalie by the name of Grant Fuhrer.
Yeah.
Of the Edmonton Oilers.
The problem is that for some reason, and it's usually just in America, we have now segregated sports by color. Basketball and football are now known as Black sports, where white people shouldn't be. Whereas baseball is white. Baseball and hockey are white sports, but Black shouldn't be. Soccer is where Hispanic players reside.
Okay, and I'm not supposed to know anything about hockey.
No,
not hockey. Soccer, right?
No,
I'm not supposed to know anything. Close with this. I'm not supposed to know anything about soccer, right?
Right.
Yeah, Karl-Heinz Granitza and Steve Jungle. Anybody who knows indoor soccer will know those two legendary names.
The thing is that sports has always been an integratable entity that everyone should feel welcome. Like I said, I'm probably one of the very few Black people that knows what curling is.
You taught me curling, and I'm glad you did.
You know, it's just why.
I mean, we joked about it for 2 years.
I'll put it like this: we went from fighting to knock down barriers that segregate us to now creating our own barriers to segregate us. We have manufactured our own segregational barriers.
Not me. I blew them up.
We're creating our new Jim Crow laws.
Not me. I blew them to smithereens. And why do I say not me? Because I've always, and I know you have, and Cole has, and many others. I blew them up.
You're supposed to.
I blew them to smithereens. Anybody? I'll leave y'all with this. Anybody seen my wife?
Well, that's a subject for an unfiltered session. No,
and I'm definitely going to have you as a part of that. You and Shane.
Hey, I'm down for that. Trust me, that's nothing we say is going to be able to be on FCC airwaves when that comes up.
Oh boy, not a thing. Thank you, Victor. I
Thank
appreciate you, brother, so much for coming on. I appreciate you.
And the pleasure is all mine.
Victor Locke joining me, and I think I'll make him my regular Monday guest. Let me get out of here. I love y'all very dearly. Quick promo. CFL Weekly will now move to Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Sports Sensays Unleashed tomorrow at 1:05. I'll be a little late coming on with the Brian Snow Show, but I will have it tomorrow afternoon. God bless y'all. I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you for tuning into The Brian Snow Show, where sports is the base, life and fun are the results.